G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another NRL video. Today I will be giving you my round 25 NRL tips of 2023. Now last week in round 24 I got my second perfect round this year. Got 8 out of 8 last week. The first time I got perfect round was back in round 20 when I got 7 out of 7. Well, technically this is my first 8 out of 8 this year, but I've got this now my second perfect round for 2023. And yeah, so this is the first time I've had 2 perfect rounds in the one season. The previous 2 seasons, I've only had 1 perfect round each. But without further ado, let's get into round 25, and we've got some good matchups coming up here. And our first game to open up round 25 of the NRL, it is a Thursday night clash at Queensland Country Bank Stadium in Townsville. It is the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Cronulla Sharks. The Cowboys coming off their third and final bye in round 23. The last time they played, they lost to the arch rivals, the Brisbane Broncos. They lost 30 points to 14. And as for the Sharks, they demolished the Gold Coast Titans, winning 36 points at 6 at PointsBet Stadium last week, ending the Titans' season of making the finals, even though we knew they weren't going to make it anyway. But their season's done now, and Sharks still fighting to secure a top 8 spot. Now, for this game, there's a couple of indications here. Sharks win, they're pretty much in for the top 8. If Cowboys win, though, they'll still have a chance to make it, but it'll be decided by another game, which I'll get into very soon. But if Cowboys lose this game, this may be the final chance they will have to finish in the top 8, to try and make the top 8. But we just have to see how we go. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, Sharks have had the wood over the Cowboys. Sharks have won 9 of the past 10 games, which includes winning 8 of the past 9 games as well. Last time the Cowboys won was back in the qualifying final last year, but the last time the Cowboys won in Townsville against the Sharks was back in 2018, where they beat them 20 points to 14. And since the Cowboys have moved into this into Queensland Country Bank Stadium, they have never beaten the Sharks up there. So they played 3 previous games up there, and they have lost all 3. But this is a tough game for both teams. This is a tough game for both teams. But for this game, I will tip the Cowboys to win this one. Yeah, yes, I know Cowboys are coming off back-to-back losses, and they are coming off their bye. But it's in Townsville. Sharks, they're not very convincing for me yet, but I will take the risk. It's in Townsville. They rarely lose up there, but I think Cowboys will get this one. Cowboys to win 1-12. I'll go Cowboys to win by 4. Go scoreline 18-14. Now on to our Friday night fixtures. The first one kicking off at 6 p.m. here in New South Wales, 8 p.m. over there in New Zealand. It is the New Zealand Warriors, or the one New Zealand Warriors taking on the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, taking place at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland. Manly are coming off a loss against Penrith last week, losing 24 points to 12. They're pretty much guaranteed not to make the top 8 now, unless some miracle happens to Manly. And as for the Warriors, they come off a sloppy win over the Tigers, winning 30 points to 22 over there in Hamilton on the weekend just gone by. Oh, this one is going to be a tough game to tip for this one, that's for sure. But in the past 10 games between these two, Manly have won 6 of the past 10, which includes winning the last 3 games. The last time these two played in Auckland was back in 2019, where the Warriors won 24 points to 16. So this one could go either way, but I don't think it would. And now Manly last week, how they played against Penrith last week, I think they put in a decent effort to fight, have some heart and fight back, but wasn't enough to beat the back-to-back premiers. So for this game, we'll go Warriors to win this one. I'll go 1-12 though. I think it's going to be a high-scoring 1-12, honestly. I'll go Warriors to win 1-12 by 10 points. I'm going to go scoreline, let's go 30-20. And the final Friday night fixture kicking off at 8 p.m. at CommBank Stadium in Parramatta. It is the Parramatta Eels taking on the Sydney Roosters. Now, both of these teams, one of these teams will go on to try and fight for the top 8, while the other team will not make it. So, as of now, the Roosters and Eels are in 10th and 11th respectively. Whoever wins this game, I don't really care. That team will go on and try and still make the finals. And also for this week, I believe that Marcus Sevo and Regan Gillard are returning to the Eels after they were both serving, I believe it was 4 games each, due to dangerous tackle or a high tackle for both of them, so something on the lines of that. So it'll be interesting to see how this game will go and how Para will go, especially after last week. They were demolished and destroyed against the Broncos at the Gabba, losing 54-10. Pretty much their season's done after that woeful performance. And as for the Roosters, not very convincing, but they did destroy the Dolphins after they lost in round 1 to open the Dolphins' first victory of the season. Roosters won 30 points to 14 against the Dolphins in a bit of a mere match or whatever. In the past 10 games between these two, Roosters have won 7 of the past 10, which includes winning 3 of the past 5 fixtures. Now, this will be the 4th time these two will have played at CommBank Stadium. The Eels hold 2 wins and 1 loss over the Roosters at this venue. So for this game, it's really tough to pick, but after last week's woeful performance from Para, I will back the Roosters to win this one. I think there's a slight chance of still making it, but I don't think they will make it. I'll go Roosters to win this game by 1-12. I'll go Roosters to win by 12 points, 26-14 scoreline. Now, on to the worst game of round 25 now, or you could say Eels Roosters could be boring as well, or the worst, but that's just my opinion. The next game kicking off at 3 p.m. on Super Saturday. First one on Super Saturday, sorry. It is from CommBank Stadium. It is the West Tigers taking on the Dolphins for the very first time ever, and this will be the last time the Dolphins. This will be the last game that the Dolphins will have played everyone now. Tigers are the final team they haven't played yet. Now, last week, the Dolphins got destroyed by the Roosters. They led 8 points to 0 at one point, and then they just collapsed in the second half before getting a late try in the last couple of minutes, but that didn't really help out the scenario, losing 30 points to 14. And as for the Tigers, they played very well against the Warriors, but too many errors from them what made them lost, and they lost to the Warriors over in Hamilton last week, 30 points to 22, and now they're on a 10-game losing streak. And also for the Dolphins, they're on 4 games in a row losing as well. So one of these streaks will be broken. It's also a bottom 4 battle, so 14th versus 17th. It's not going to be a good game to watch to start off Super Saturday. But as it is, this will be the first time these two have clashed as well, and this will be the 3rd and final time the Dolphins will play in Sydney for this year. They have not won any game in Sydney. They lost last week to the Roosters at Allianz, and they also lost to Manly at 4 Pines Park earlier in the year for their first game in Sydney to start their career. So for this game, it's really tough to pick because Dolphins, they were lackluster last week, and Tigers, they were in the game, but it was too much for them. It's really tough this game, but I'm going to go Dolphins to win 1-12. I think they will bounce back after last week's woeful performance. Yeah, you may say they can't win Sydney, blah, 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 but it's still their first season. I'll go Dolphins to win 1-12. I'll go Dolphins to win by 8. Scoreline, low scoring I'm going 16 points to 8. Now, on to the next game, kicking off at 5:30 p.m. on the Gold Coast at Cbus Super Stadium. It is the Gold Coast Titans taking on the Penrith Panthers. The Titans are coming off a humiliating loss against the Sharks at PointsBet last week, losing 36-6. And as for Penrith, too good once again against Manly, this time beating them 24 points to 12 at 4 Pines Park last week. Penrith are now on a 7-game winning streak, and they are looking to solidify that minor premiership, but only Broncos are still in there, right? If Penrith drop one game, Broncos will go in front as they will have the bye for their third and final bye for this round. In the past 10 games between these two, Penrith have demolished the Titans in 8 of the past 10 games, which includes winning 8 of the past 9. The last time Titans won was back in 2019 when they beat them 30 points to 24 on the Gold Coast. Wow. Easy. This game's 13 plus for Penrith. Penrith to win 13 plus by 22. I'm going Penrith to go by 34-12. And now on to the final Super Saturday fixture, kicking off at 7:35 p.m. in Wollongong at Wynn Stadium. It is the St George Illawarra Dragons taking on the Melbourne Storm. This will be probably another snooze fest game as well. Dragons, a bit of an odd game last week against the Bunnies. Not a very good game, to be honest, but we still got the win. Dragons lost 26 points to 14 up there in Cairns last week. And as for Melbourne, too good for the Raiders. They finally ended their losing streak to the Raiders at Amy Park. Melbourne won 48 points to 2 against the Raiders. And Raiders led 2-0 before going on to be flogged by the Storm. Shock. And they are looking to solidify fourth place, so no other team outside the top 8 can make the top 4, but still anyone's game. It's unpredictable at this stage, even though it's pretty obvious. In the past 10 games between these two, Melbourne have won 7 of the past 10, which includes winning 4 of the past 5 fixtures. The last time that the Dragons won in Wollongong was back in 2016, where they won against Melbourne, winning 20 points to 10. So for this game, obviously Melbourne to win 13 plus, no doubt about it. I'll go Melbourne to win by 20. Let's go scoreline 34-14. And now we're on the Super Sunday now. We're up to my game now. This will be the game I will be attending. I will be doing a vlog for the first time since round 20. First game I'm attending since round 20 as well, which was Cowboys Manly at 4 Pines Park. It is the Newcastle Knights taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs. My boys, in a bit of a battle for top 8 supremacy. Pretty much is whoever wins this game is guaranteed to finish in the top 8. Knights, if they win, they could solidify themselves. And as for the Bunnies, if we win this one, we have to bye the following week as well, and I think we'll be guaranteed to make the top 8 if we beat the Knights. Now, last week, the Rabbits coming off finally a home fixture win for the first time since round 11. I know it was up in Cairns. It's a neutral venue, but still count. It's a home game to the Bunnies. We finally won a home game since round 11, which was against the Tigers. We won 26-14 against the Dragons up in Cairns. First time we've played there since 2018. And as for the Knights, too good against the Bulldogs. They won 42 points to 6 up there in Newcastle last week. And they led 30-0 at halftime, which wasn't a shock because I thought it was going to be similar to their first game a couple of weeks ago, 66-0. And as now, Knights have won 6 in a row now. So this will be a perfect opportunity for the Rabbits to finally end it. Now, in the past 10 games between these two, Bunnies have had the wood over the Knights. Bunnies have won 8 of the past 10 games. And funny thing enough is, the Rabbits have won 13 of the past 16 games against the Knights. And another fun fact is, the Knights have not won in Newcastle against the Bunnies since 2011. So after 2011, we've played 5 games in Newcastle. We've won all 5. The most recent one was last year where we beat them 40 points to 28. I was also at that game. I enjoyed it, being there for the first time in a decade by that point last year. And like I said, I'll be attending this game. Very excited to go. Can't wait. If you guys are going, I might see you there. But for this game, obviously, it's going to be a big, massive crowd. I've heard it could be close to a sellout. If it does, that would be great. And perfect opportunity as well. I'll go the Bunnies to win I'm going to go 4 points. I'm not confident, but I hope we do get the win, because if we win, we have the bye next week. Top 8 secured. That's for sure. So I'll go the Bunnies to win by 4. Let's go. I think this will be a good game. I think I'm going to go 24-20 as the score. Let's go the Mighty Bunnies. And for the last game now, we are on the Raiders versus Bulldogs, taking place at GIO Stadium, kicking off at 4 p.m. And I forgot to say, the Knights game, Bunnies game, is a 2 o'clock fixture as well. Now, last week the Dogs, or yesterday I should say, they got destroyed against the Raiders. Got destroyed against Melbourne. Bulldogs got destroyed against the Knights, losing 42-6, and Raiders got destroyed as well, losing 48 points to 2. So both of these teams on a massive floggings. One of these teams will expect to win, but I'm not looking forward to this game either. In the past 10 games between these two, Raiders have won 9 of the past 10 fixtures, which includes winning the last 7 in a row. Last time the Dogs won against Canberra was in 2017, where they won 16-10, but the last time the Dogs won in Canberra was back in 2015, where they beat the Raiders 41-34. So for this game, although I want the Raiders to lose, although I want them to lose because I want them because of the points difference, I'll still go Raiders to win. I'll go Raiders to win 1-12. I'll go by 6, scoreline 18-12. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up my round 25 NRL tips of 2023. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. We have just reached 1,260 subscribers, so I just want to say thank you all so much, and I hope we can reach 1,300 subscribers by the end of the regular season, which is only 2 weeks away. So thank you all so much for 2023. But without further ado, this will wrap up my round 25 tipping video. And like I said, guys, if any of you are going to the Rabbits Knights game on Sunday, I might see you there. I'll be around somewhere. I'm not going to reveal where I'm sitting, obviously, but you know who I look like. So if you want to come find me, I'll be there somewhere. Anyways, everyone, I'll see you all in the next one, and go to Bunnies.